All right, we back with another one, and this is a follow-up to a story I did a while back about a racist white student hurling racial slurs at a black student and broke her nose and sent her to the hospital. Let's get into it. Privileged much. White male student who broke black girl's nose while repeatedly calling her the N-word escaped hate crime charge but will spend 18 months in jail. Posted by Yasmin F., Atlanta Black Star, June 23rd, 2024. A white male high school student in Kansas City will spend 18 months in juvenile custody for his part in a racist attack on a black girl last year. That attack took place at Shawnee Mission East High School on November 15, 2023. A now 16-year-old student was caught on camera hurling several racial slurs at a fellow sophomore before the two got into a fight. Cell phone video that went viral showed the white male student saying N word and what N word what as both teens charge at each other in the school hallway. The black student lands a right hook and the pair go to blows. The video ends as teachers are seen rushing in to break the students up. According to the Kansas City Defender, the black student suffered a broken nose and had to go to a hospital for treatment. The white student suffered a concussion and an eye injury. Both students were suspended from school. Sounds like he got the worst of that fight to me, a concussion and a injury to his eye. My goodness. I couldn't post the video on here. We know how YouTube are with its restrictions, but it seems like she was getting the better of him in that fight, and he looked to fight like a girl. You know how girls punch overhand, and yeah, he's definitely not used to having fights. I can tell that. Okay, as they walk away, a male student previously uninvolved aggressively shouts for the black student to shut the F up. The male student then charges towards Bree while repeatedly hurling racial insults. School hate crime. Racist kid yells N-word while attacking black girl, breaks her nose and hospitalizes her. Black girl gets suspended for 5 days. Now we see this a lot. How these kids get picked on in school. They calling them all kind of racial slurs, and when they go to the teachers or principals, nothing has happened. And when they retaliate, that's when they discipline the black student for just simply defending themselves. This girl had no business getting suspended. She wasn't the cause of that fight. The fight sparked local protests and a massive school walkout. Several students contended that the incident was part of a pattern that school administrators hadn't sufficiently addressed. Some community members also asserted that the girl was a victim of a hate crime since she's confronted two white female students for using racial slurs and calling black people slaves before the fight began. The confrontation ended peacefully, but as the group parted, the white male student told the black student to shut the F up. That's when the two rush towards each other and the fight breaks out. Despite the assertions that the assault was a hate crime, law enforcement only charged the white male student with aggravated battery. The teenager, whom local reports identified as Nicholas Rosali, pleaded guilty to aggravated battery causing great bodily harm last month in juvenile court. His father spoke to local news outlet. Okay, we already covered that in the last video. Watch the last video, which I'll link in the description. The victim, Brianna Brown, said she was very happy to hear that Rosali pleaded guilty in May. However, the trauma of the event forced her to transfer schools. It put us through a lot of stress, and it just made me feel like it wasn't safe for me at school anymore. Shawnee Mission East High School is located in Prairie Village, suburb of Kansas City, Kansas. According to the Department of Justice, 128 hate crimes were reported to law enforcement in Kansas City. In 2022, 130 hate crimes were reported. In 2021, 124. In 2020, approximately 45% of all reported hate crime offenses in 2022 cite race as the bias motivation. About 35% were motivated by religion and 11% were motivated by sexual orientation. And no hate crime charges. I'm not surprised. We know how they do in situations like this. They see a young white male and they don't want to send him down that path with a hate crime. They give him every chance to avoid hate crime charges. He definitely should have gotten hate crime charges, because let's look at the definition of a hate crime. You hurling racial insults and then you proceed to harm that individual, that is considered a hate crime. We see these incidents all the time in these schools where these children are picked on constantly, and when you go to the teachers or principals, nothing is done. And then when you retaliate or defend yourself, they will discipline the black student in many cases. I don't understand why this girl was suspended, but like I say, we know how they do in these situations. She ended up moving to another school. I will say this, watching the fight, he definitely got that work, and I doubt he tried that again with another little black sister. He got 18 months in juvie. That's good, but it's not enough. Like I say, he should be charged with hate crime charges. I hear the father's statements. Now, make no mistake that the racism that's displayed by his child was learned in the home. We all know this. He didn't pick it up anywhere else. He picked it up in the home. More than likely, the father uses the same language around him, so that's why he thought it was okay to say the things that he said. Well, he got 18 months now to think about his actions. I don't feel sorry for him. Let that be a lesson to you. Leave black people alone out here, or it might be even worse than a broken eye socket and a concussion for you. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.